My computer career actually helped me set up my resume. So with that help, I was able to land a job within the first 4 months of attending school at my computer career.
A few weeks before graduation, though, I landed my first job as a Tier 1 technician with a large insurance company. And 6 months later, I was actually working as a Tier 2 technician with a significant pay raise. And kind of like my first job, they were also very impressed that I had so many certifications.
You have to look at what you want in life and where you're at. For me, my computer career was an easy choice because they offered me a better lifestyle that I really wanted, and it was the only place that would really give me that upper hand in life.
The folks at My Computer Career are very caring. They really care about our success in the IT industry, not just with certifications, but also with finding a career and really being happy with that choice.
Hello, IT enthusiasts. Welcome to another episode of My Computer Careers Get Into IT Live, where we do just that, get into all things IT. We are coming to you live today from our Energy Drive studios. Very nice to see everyone. As you can see, we have two special guests. We have a special guest in studio, and Patricia, who made the drive from where she lives down to the Raleigh area just to be with us today.
Just for you guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Especially with, Blizzard Con 2026 kicking off here in Raleigh, where we're going to get half an inch of snow.
Not looking forward to that.
Right.
But I was so tired of hiding in the comments. I wanted to come grace you with my presence.
But we digress. So nice to have everybody here. I will properly introduce our guests in just a minute. But Oneal, a graduate of MyCC and a current IT superstar, is joining us. Oneal, hello.
Hey.
Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to dig into your story a little bit here in just a second. So before we get going, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you have a comment for Oneal as we work through this thing, as always, we love those. We love these to be very conversational. We want to have a discussion with you. So drop those, drop some encouragement for Oneal. Tell us what you'd like to see out of these lives, whatever you want to do. Drop it in the comment section, and Patricia, who is doing double duty, will certainly add those, and we'll work through it. What did I miss? Is that good? We good? Do we do the intro okay?
I think we're good.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me get started with the show. Our guest is kind of the blueprint here at MyCC. When I saw his background, one of his career services advisors sent it along. It was a no-brainer for us. Had a career, kind of needed a transition, found the school, went through a number of programs, and then a number of our programs, and then landed a gig in IT. And now doing the same thing in his company, advancing there. So advanced at MyCC, advancing in his company. It's a lot to unpack, and we really can't wait to have the conversation. This is our second guest, right behind our CEO last week in the studio. It couldn't be more perfect to talk to a student. So why don't we officially welcome Oneal Levy to the Get Into IT broadcast. Thanks again, Oneal.
Hey, nice to be here.
You want to just tell us just a very quickly a little bit about yourself? And of course, we're going to dig in more, but where you're working, what your title is?
Yeah, again, Oneal Levy. I'm currently working at Sysco. I am the OSA, which is the Operation System Analyst.
Okay.
Sysco.
We're going to hear more about what that means and about what you're up to. So why don't we just kick this bad boy off? First question. Let's start with your background. Let's get into that. Before My Computer Career, you were working in warehouse and inventory roles. What was that first chapter of your life like?
So it was actually a hard start. When I first worked in a warehouse, it was mostly just throwing rolls of what's it called? Like leather, cotton, stuff you put in cars. It was just throwing stuff off back of the trucks. That's when I transitioned to actually a company that helps people get jobs. And that's when I got to my first inventory job. So that's when I started working with more computers, the system, and the inventory of the system of the roles. And it was it was actually fun because I got to work on the computer, and I've always loved working on computers.
It's not unlike what we've kind of heard before. folks that are working in those jobs, in warehouse jobs, whatever it may be, they find a way, if they have an interest in tech, they find a way to move into working with a computer in the job or doing some kind of tech work in the job. So we've certainly heard that before. Yeah.
And you previously mentioned that you and your team were, what I'm having here in quotes, is professionally fired from your previous employer. That had to be a tough moment. So walk us through that, and how did that experience kind of push you forward to make a change in your career?
Well, at first, the job was fine. It was a startup company, so I kind of expected it. You kind of expect with startup companies, because startup companies, they transition, they change stuff, and they haven't found their real role in the industry yet. So when it first happened, it kind of hit me, because it didn't come from my boss. It came from my boss's boss that just got recently hired. So I kind of like, let me just get rid of some people. Or at least that's how I felt. So when that happened, it was my first time ever getting severed, professionally fired from a job. So it kind of felt surreal, like, is this really happening? And it did. So that's when I decided to start looking at schools. And I was like, and that's when my sister told me, I know you don't like school and all that, but, it might help you. School is not just, oh, I got a degree, because a lot of times when you get a degree, you don't even end up with the job of that career of that degree.
We have had that conversation, believe it or not, Oneal, many times.
Yes.
So she saw it as, and see me as, well, you just go to school and you find your path on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of were great segue there. You mentioned your sister, because my next question is, what specifically led you to My Computer Career? And you also mentioned in your previous job working with computers a bit. So tell us about your relationship with information technology and exactly how your sister got you to go back to school, because I completely relate to that.
So, well, my sister really just like pushed me to it. We were just texting, I lost my job, because that's when I recently moved out of my parents' house to my aunt's house. And that's when they moved from Miami, one side, to another, to Fort Pierce. And she was texting me as, hey, you love computers. Mm-hmm. Why not go into IT? You love video games, you love all of that. May as well do something related to that. So at first I didn't. I stopped for like a month. I was like, I don't care. I just want to just stay in bed right now. Like, I just lost my job.
My man.
Yeah, I just lost my job. Give me a minute.
But then I was like, you know what? Every day goes by, I'm losing a few dollars, and I'm not gaining anything either. So one of my phone and then I just searched tech schools. And My Computer Career popped up, and I was actually signing up for like multiple different schools. It just so happened, literally, I didn't even finish signing up for My Computer Career, and someone called me. I didn't even complete the whole application yet.
Right. Yeah.
Someone called me, and I'm just like, okay, you guys are a little too eager, but it kind of did motivate me to just like, okay, I guess I can choose you guys, since you guys are a little too on top of things, but I kind of just went with the flow.
Oneal, are you saying that our admissions team is a little too thirsty? Is that what you're saying?
Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit.
I gotcha. I can tell you, those folks are really eager, to, when someone's interested, to have that conversation. So, but we hear you for sure, 100%. And for anybody wondering, we talked to Oneal earlier. He is not a Miami Hurricanes football fan, so we got that covered. That's out of the way. All right, let's talk about your time at My Computer Career, Oneal. You went through multiple programs. The ITSA program, which is the 7-month program, is designed to, give you those entry-level skills. You went on to our advanced program, CSS, CSE, or cybersecurity engineer at least. And then you moved to the associate program and you graduated from the associate program. That's a lot of training, buddy. What was that? What was that like for you? You know, the online learning experience, you know, the whole, all of our platforms. What was that like for you?
Well, like I don't like school.
Right.
I'll put it like that. I don't like school.
Yep.
So it was hard at first, but when I first started in the entry program, getting into it, I saw it as, well, I sit here for 2 hours one day, an hour another day, and 2 hours another. I can give a little bit of my time to make my future better. So that's how I justify to myself that this is worth it. Don't just like, I don't like it. What's the point of me being here? I wasn't negative about it. That was step one.
Yeah.
Is just not to be negative about it, especially to something that you do not like. Because everybody doesn't like something. You know, some people don't like waking up in the morning to go to work.
Right.
But they
Yep.
find the positive in things to
Mhm.
make it better. So as I was going through the program, you know, the teachers I met, they was really motivated. They was really there to help you. They didn't care if you knew nothing. They didn't care if you knew everything. You was the same to them. And that's what I liked. And it was very active. They actually push you to text in the chat, push you to talk to other people. And I'm antisocial.
Right.
I'm very antisocial. I'd rather be by myself and not talk to anybody.
We
But
can relate.
they push you to be more speak and push you to chat. And it made it go by faster. It made it go by faster. Instead of just sitting there listening, it made the time go slower. Being active in it made the time go faster. That's what's very important to people that don't like school. It made it go faster.
That's one heck of a message. That's some killer insight. We don't hear that as often, you know, made it go by faster.
Yeah.
But was that kind of the impetus for moving through to the advanced programs? You know, was that the impetus for going all the way through to the associate program? Or did you just want to gain those additional skills?
At first, after I finished the entry program, I said I was done. I was talking to my best friend. I was just like, I do not care for school. I hate it. I'm done. But then I thought I was like just talking to him. I'm just like, and he said, you know, you went by that really fast. Like I thought you just started. And then I was just like, you know what? If I do the associates program, I gained a lot in my first star. I was like, I might as well finish. Like, I might as well get the degree. I might as well get.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you already had a bunch of the credits. You might as well just keep going.
Yeah. So that's how I saw it as. I was just like, whatever, just sign me up. Just do it before I regret it.
Well, our pal Austin over on LinkedIn agrees. It takes a ton of dedication and commitment to move as far through the program as you did. So great to see that. Thanks, Austin, as always.
Hi, Austin.
Yep. All right. One thing we've established so far is that you did not and do not like school. That's out of the way. We know that. So with that in mind, these programs can get challenging. And that's just a reality forever. There are spots in the program where you feel like that is enough. I am not doing this anymore. We've been doing this long enough and talked to enough students. We know that's a reality. How did you push through those challenging parts? And what was your approach to studying for those exams, which is obviously really important to get those certs?
Funny enough, it wasn't hard for me. Like I didn't sit down and be like, okay, this is just terrible. I can't do this anymore. It wasn't until the associates program that I said that.
Wow.
So going through the entry level, going through CSI, CSS, all the security certs, it honestly didn't feel complicated to me. Those are very advanced programs. They're not easy.
No doubt.
You know, all the programming that the pseudo hacking they show you and all that, it really didn't mind boggle me. It didn't make me shut down. The only thing that made me shut down was in the associate program when they told me to write an essay.
Oy.
I hate
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like writing. And so that's when it wasn't really hard. It was just like my dislike of doing certain activities made me want to quit. It was my own dislike. It wasn't hard.
Yeah.
So that's just me personally. Nothing was really hard for me. And studying is very difficult because what you're studying is what's flat on the paper. And what I mean is you're doing questions, you're reading whatever you got to read from cybersecurity or networking. You're just reading stagnant things. But once you actually go doing a test, it feels like everything's moving. Like you're answering questions, you're going to the next one. The questions are not lined up the same as what you just read. So you just have to use outside your box of, okay, if it's not worded like this, it's probably meaning like this. Right. But you can't overthink it, because if you overthink it, you'll just end up picking the wrong question. So that's the difficult part of studying for me, because I didn't get all my certification. I'm still working on getting the rest. It's just once you're in the test, it feels like all that I just read and all those questions I just did almost feel kind of pointless. I have the knowledge, I know the knowledge,
right?
But you do the test and you miss it for a few points, it kind of jabs you in the heart a little bit.
I haven't related to something more.
Yeah, totally. Honestly, you spend all that time studying, you sit down in front of an exam and you say, wait a minute, this isn't what I studied. Hang on.
Oh my God.
They're throwing me for a loop. I hear you. I get it. And that's done for a reason, but that makes perfect sense, Oneal. It really does. Did your, and just, thinking about continuing with kind of the study process and in your experience at MyCC, and then I'll stop hogging all the questions, by the way. Did the instructors help? And you mentioned earlier that, that it sounded like they did, but did they help keep you motivated and kind of help you moving forward?
So less for me and more for the other students I've seen.
Okay.
Only being because I find finding my own motivation motivates me, which it sounds weird, but I've really only truly relied on one person in my life, and that's really my best friend. He was there since I was a kid. So anytime I needed motivation, I looked through him or myself. I never really looked to others because I was already gravitating towards him. And we always motivate each other throughout our lives. And so the teachers, don't get me wrong, they motivate you, they'll push you to answer any question you need. And if they have any study guides or anything, just ask them and they'll send it to you. That's not a problem.
Right.
They never have a problem with helping you. It's just me personally, I try to find motivation within myself, because my teachers are not gonna be there all the time. I am.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's just how I ran through things.
Got it. So well said. You want to give a shout out to your pal?
Yeah, shout out to Dear Monty Forrest. I call him Dear Moonsiv. And he's the best friend you'll ever have.
All right. I love it. Looks like we have some comments that Patricia's been dying to put up. I keep talking.
I'm itching. Can you tell?
Yes, yeah. Go right ahead.
All right. So first of all, Justin, thank you so much for your comment. We see you over on Facebook. So far, I love hearing his input live, and I can relate, even though I'm not as far as him. I'm continuing, though. Keep pushing through, Justin. Thank you so much for being here. And I can relate, too, except for the essay part.
Yeah.
That was the one time I was thriving in school.
Right.
Yep. Get me to write something. Yep. I got you.
Always.
Don says, I love your courage. Thank you so much, Don, over on Facebook. And Derek, very enduring, helpful in education. Yeah, absolutely. Corresponding IT tech careers. Totally.
Thanks, folks. Love to see the comments.
Love to see it. So let's talk about your current role. let me get this straight. You're an operations system analyst at Cisco now, and you started there as a cycle counter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So walk us through that progression and how did you move up so quickly? That's amazing.
So I started off as a cycle counter, which is just a normal inventory role. You just go out, you count, you come onto the computer, you type in, I counted 5, but there's supposed to be 10. And I just go back in the warehouse and you figure out basic role. But I went in that role already the head of it. So anything they was asking me during the interview, they was asking me, oh, do you know how to do X, Y, and Z? Do you know about doing like mini audits? I forget. This has been like years.
It's been a
You're
while.
not doing it anymore.
Yeah,
No
that's
worries.
right.
But I was answering the questions like, yeah, I did that in my previous job. Yeah, I did on my last job, and I just don't say that I did it. I actually describe what I was doing, and they was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what we do. So in that role, I've also just worked hard. Like I showed them, I don't just do one thing. I do multiple things, and I just don't complain about it.
Right.
And that was a big thing to them because they were like, oh, can you do this? And I just like one step ahead of you already. I already did it. Or I tell you, hold on, I'll do it in a minute.
Yeah.
I was very upfront. And then after a year of cycle counting, I was pretty much, people was coming to me as if I was been there for 5, 6, 7 years.
I was gonna say after a year. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so after that year, a job opening opened up for finance associate. And I just applied for that position. And it was helpful because the same person for that position is the same boss as the current position. It was the same boss. It was just a move up. It was a step up. So I applied for that position, and he just gave it to me because that's how he already knew I was going to school at the time. I'm good with technology, and at the time they actually, with the finance associate, there was a problem with the scanner machine. It's always been a problem. There's always been a problem with the machines I use. There's always been an issue, and I was always the one to fix it or at least help fix it.
Right.
Ahead of time. So he would just it was during the interview for that one, it wasn't much of an interview. We were just talking. He was like, oh yeah, you know what to do? Oh, okay. And then we were just talking, just normal conversation. It wasn't even an interview. And then he just gave me the job. So, I got lucky on that one.
Yeah, it's not luck, buddy.
Those are my computer career skills right there.
Yeah.
So after that, that's when I got the finance associate job. I was doing, it was also part of customer service because customers come in like, hey, I got to pick up something. If there was a problem, I fix it in the system. That's when I had access to more of the system. It wasn't just one side of it. It opened up more of it. After that, I went through another year as a finance associate. That's when the OSA position opened up. I didn't go for the OSA right away. I was just thinking about it. I was like, should I get it? Should I go for it? And then one day I was just like, whatever. I wanted a job. I wanted to move up. So I went into the vice president office because he is the manager of the OSA position. So I went into the vice president office and I just had a conversation with him. I was like, yeah, I want the job. This is before I applied. I want the job. Like, what's the job about? He was just like, we was having a conversation of what you want to do. He was just like, yeah, I got a couple more interviews, but I want to give you the job. So I'm just going to do the interviews to be polite.
Oneal spilling all the details. I love it. Spilling the tea. I love it.
Then he did. There wasn't actually anyone that applied for the job, so he was just saying that as a joke.
Yeah,
there was actually no one else applied
right
besides me. I guess everyone saw me apply and they was like, nope, I'm gonna try.
Not even gonna try.
So I applied. He gave me the OSA position, and yeah, now I'm here
Well,
after
what's
2
kind of
years.
interesting about this, and Patricia and I again hear this a lot. We harp so much about not being afraid of those entry level positions, not being afraid to take those gigs, because if you
Mhm.
show that if you stand out, if you show your worth, you are going to move up in IT. That's just a reality of it,
Yep.
and that's exactly what it sounds like you've done and you're doing.
Yeah, you do above and beyond. You do it at the start, and you could be kind of lazy at the end, but do your best at the start.
All right,
Yes.
I like it.
That's awesome. So kind of walk us through what your day-to-day looks like now. It says here you're handling 50 plus inquiries daily. What exactly does all that mean, and what kind of problems are you solving? And I guess I'll throw in another question of how did my computer career help you with the current role that you're in?
So when it comes to the fakery 50 inquiries, it's more like an exaggerated number. It feels bigger than it is. It's mostly small tasks at the start. I come in around 7 o'clock. The reports in our system roll in. Those reports are just based off how the night crew, how our selectors did. And then it goes uploads to our system. I run the program. I extract it, put it in Excel, and I just make an Excel sheet of who did good, who did bad, and who did worse. But we don't put who did worse. We just let them improve. Because you know, after that, I create POs for the warehouse. I create POs based off the needs of whoever comes to me. And every day I work with the scanner machines and scanner printers. So those are pretty much the bulk of my time. Just figure out, okay, they tell me it's not working. Okay, is it simple as the Wi-Fi turned off?
Sure.
Easy, press a few buttons, boom, it's back on. Here you go. Sometimes it's more complicated. It's like, oh, the Wi-Fi is on, but it's not connecting. Okay, what's next? I go through the troubleshooting process. So I simply turn it on and back off.
Just gonna ask.
I could
Yep.
see you smiling, and I was
Was
wondering
just
what you were
gonna
grinning
ask.
about.
Yep.
That is the first thing they tell me when I started my computer career. Sometimes you just have to turn it off and turn it back on. And
Yep.
try that first, because you don't want to go through the whole process of probably opening it up, twisting all of this, just to find out, well, all you gotta do is press this button to turn it off and press it on. So,
You mentioned too a little bit briefly before we went live that you also sometimes work those night shifts. So are you giving yourself good reports in the morning, or how exactly does that work?
the beauty of my job is I am labeled as I forgot the exact wording, but it's like single individual, meaning I don't have anybody below me, and my manager doesn't manage me per se. So meaning he lets me do as I will, like do as what the company needs at the time. So if I gotta spend $10,000 to go fix a problem, hey, if it's justified, go do it.
Very nice. Very nice.
Um,
It's ideal. That's
and
awesome.
so I don't have to. The reports are not on me. When I sometimes work the night shift, that's just me introducing. Well, in the beginning, me introducing myself. Hey, I'm the new OSA. I deal with your equipment. If there's a problem, you need to change your chargers in your locker or whatever the case may be, you come to me for technical issues. And if I'm not there, obviously give it to your supervisor. Your supervisor will give it to me. But it's been an ongoing challenge, which is annoying and fun, I guess you want to call it,
Yep.
with dealing with the equipment. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes turning it on and off doesn't work. Sometimes putting on the Wi-Fi doesn't work. Sometimes it's not even the device. It's our server that's messed up. Sometimes it's the Wi-Fi emitters and throughout the warehouse. It's a big warehouse.
Right.
So it's those challenges that you find them, you find the solution. Some, like, I had to sit through one day I had to sit through a whole log. So our devices are run by Zebra. So I can't change their programming. I can only change ours.
Right.
So I had to sit through a chat log with Zebra to see what was the problem. And it turns out the 2.4 gigahertz is off by default, which 2.4 goes through walls better. But everything was on 5 gigahertz on by default. So anytime the device is reset, it turns off the 2.4, even if I turn it back on.
Yep.
So I was just like, why don't you guys just change that? And we don't really have that issue over here. I'm just like, how big is your place versus ours?
Right. Yeah.
And everybody on the 5 hertz is just bumping into each other. So I just like, okay, I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
I said, I guess I'll have to deal with it.
We get it. We're shaking our heads, but you're above our heads on all of this. But it's nice to know that not only do you embrace those challenges, but you obviously learn from those challenges and rise to those challenges. And it's good to hear. We're hearing in the background as you talk. You obviously, how smart you are, Oneal, but also it seems like you enjoy the gig. Is that the case?
Yes, I do. I really do enjoy the job. And I'm just not at one site. I actually transitioned to 2 different sites every week.
Very nice.
So Monday through Fridays, I'm in Southeast site, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm in the South Florida site. The South Florida site is bigger. It has more people, so that's where most of the issues come from. I also deal with the computers and stuff. There's been one challenge just yesterday that they keep telling me the computer on the forklifts keep turning off, and I just found out the dongle in the back was just loose, and
Oh my God.
even if you tighten it, it'll just slip out. So I just had to change the whole computer. I had to figure out how to tighten the dongle. I was like, I'm about to just put some Loctite on this, but then I won't be able to take it off. And I'm just like,
Definitely can't you just get a new computer instead of rebuilding it. Can you just get a new computer?
Yeah, so we have a contract with our.
No, I understand.
It is. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, completely understood. Completely.
So if it is broken, I have to. If I can't just do a little bit of like screw in some screws or just take out the back or do something simple, that's fine. But if I have to go into wiring, I just have to ship it off to our contractor to tell them, hey, I need you to fix this. I need it. You do it fast.
Completely understood. Completely understood. All right, buddy. So let's get you out of here on this one, unless I'm forgetting something.
No.
For people out there who come from non-technical backgrounds, like warehouse work, retail, other fields, whatever it may be, what advice do you have for that person looking to make the leap into IT?
I would say don't think about it too much, because the more you think about it, the more deeper you go into the negative thoughts, into the, oh man, it might not work out or whatever. Just like, if you feel like you need a change in life, just go for it. You don't never know what's going to happen. Like I said, you don't end up, a lot of times you do not end up with the job you're searching for. You might, on the way, you might find a whole better job, or hell, you might even win the lottery on the way. You never know. It's just those steps that you take to a better life is what you need. It's not what could happen. It's just follow the path you think you need.
So well said. Like a lot of this conversation, Oneal, really appreciate the insight, really appreciate hearing more about your background and kind of your journey and the support from your friend, the whole thing. We can hear it all. We can hear the passion. And that always is appreciated. So, thanks for taking the time to join us today. Because
thanks for having me.
Yes.
All right. I see you've shared something here.
I shared his LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. So Patricia shared your LinkedIn. Don't worry. You won't get too flooded. But just in case you want to check out and make sure that Oneal is a real deal, he is indeed. So there is his LinkedIn page. And we just want to say thank everybody for joining us. Don, we see your note over on Facebook. Thank you for sure. Thank you all for joining us today. It was a great chat. And most importantly, Oneal, thank you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
We learned a lot. And it was a solid conversation in a lot of ways. Patricia, thank you for making the drive.
Thank you.
Are you going to leave right after this? Or are you going to?
Well, there's a bookstore too in the area. I might.
It's always a bookstore, guys. It's all. All right.
But I should get home because if it's going to ice as much as it says it is, then I need to be at my house.
I recommend that.
Yeah.
So. All right. I think we covered everything. Yes.
Yeah, that was it. Shared your LinkedIn. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is up on our socials. We see your comments even after the fact if we're not live anymore. So if you have any questions for us or Oneal here, we'll make sure to get those answered. And if any students or graduates out there would love to talk with us for a testimonial or do a live show like this, we would absolutely love to have you. I can share in the comments the email address that you guys can reach us at. We would love to have a conversation.
That's that. I think we're done here. Oneal, if you don't mind hanging out for just a second here after we end things, that'd be great. And for everybody else, have a fantastic weekend. Hope wherever you are, it doesn't get too cold or too snowy. Yes, and we will see you back here, same time, same place from Energy Drive on Friday. Thank you. Have a good one.
Hey, everyone.